afternoon and welcome to Buffalo Wild Wings right here in Tiffin, Ohio for the Coach Gary Goff Show. Coach Gary Goff, the head coach, Tiffin University football, in his 7th season here on campus. And let me introduce the man now. To my left, Mr. Gary Goff. Coach, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Russ. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Week 2 of the football season. College season's underway. Professional season gets going on tonight, so it's officially football season, and that makes everybody happy.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, we're coming in this game here at Lake Erie this weekend as the Dragons coming in this game 0-1. The Storm also 0-1. We'll talk about Lake Erie in just a little bit. We're going to have a coach on. We're also going to have one of your student athletes on as well. But let's first talk a little bit about last week's game, the Findlay game. I'll tell you what, you guys came right out the box and just punched them in the mouth. In the first quarter, you guys looked like world beaters.
Yeah, we got a quick start to the game just like we wanted. And, that first quarter, I wish we could have duplicated that for the next 3 quarters. Yeah. But, we had a lot of unknowns going into that game, and those first 2 drives of the game, we felt pretty confident. We had 2 great drives. Defense had some stops right off the bat, and things were going our way that first quarter.
Then the Dragons eventually fell to the Findlay Oilers 28-13 in a non-league contest, and it was an interesting game, Coach. A couple turnovers did you in maybe a little bit, but you guys got a big turnover on the defensive side of the ball, and an interception right at the goal line when Findlay was knocking on the door, getting ready to get some points. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that you can look at the game after watching film and pick it apart and find a lot of the negatives, but let's talk about some of the positives you found in the game.
No, absolutely. I mean, we didn't get the outcome we wanted, obviously, but, there was a lot of positives coming out of that game. We got into the office there Friday morning as a staff, and as we were breaking down film, we did notice that, a couple of our redshirt freshmen that are playing now did some great things. Now, there are things that we got to improve on, and that's what we worked on practice all week, is improving on those things. But, some of the unknowns going into the game, it was our quarterback, Nick Watson. He's a redshirt freshman. That was his first collegiate start.
Right.
And no matter how much us coaches want to, simulate game reps and game speed, it's just a very difficult thing to do. So, Nick had a good night. He did some really good things. We had a couple of crucial turnovers, and that might have been the difference in the game. But if you look at the other side of the ball in defense, kind of the same exact situation. Our middle linebacker was Brandon Burks, and another redshirt freshman, his first collegiate start. And, we thought he played a pretty good game. There's things that him and Nick both we want to improve on. But, getting them out there and seeing them run around and then learning this week from their mistakes, I think is going to be big key for us the rest of this season. And I think a lot of people are going to take notice of those 2 guys are going to be 2 great football players.
Well, the old adage is your football team probably improves the most from week 1 to week 2 than it does in any other week of the season. You're going to need your Dragons to make that improvement as you're going on the road now against a Lake Erie team. Strange circumstances when we went there and played last year. Different setup this year. Let's talk a little bit about the Lake Erie Storm. They struggled a little bit through the air in their opening game. Did a real good job, though, running the football.
Yeah, the thing about Lake Erie is they don't have a whole lot of returners coming back from a year ago. They do have a few seniors on both sides of the ball, but that's about it. So they got a lot of new players and, guys that they could care less what happened there last year, right? Mm-hmm. And they could care less what Tiffin did last year. So, the thing we've noticed on film this week is Lake Erie does have a team that's playing really hard right now. They are young, they are inexperienced, but they are playing extremely hard. And I think the scores showed that last week. They went and played at Edinburgh, who was 16th in the country, and, really held their own for 3 quarters.
Absolutely, yeah. First 2.5 quarters, I think it was within 10 points. And have you ever watched film of a team and seen 8 different ball carriers carry the football? I was amazed when I saw that. 8 different guys for Lake Erie's squad carried the football last week. That has to be a first.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I've ever.
At least it's outside the norm. That's for darn certain.
We try to have at least 8 different receivers, But,
I know that.
Guys rushing the ball, but they're a better football team than they were a year ago. We do believe that, and you have no idea what to expect. You're on the road. You're going there. It's going to be their first home game. We do expect that they'll come out playing extremely hard. So. We got to go there and worry about us like always, and we got to know the game's played or meant to be played one specific way, and that is, protect the football, eliminate the big plays, and then continue to get first downs and put points on the board.
Dragons will be at Lake Erie College this coming Saturday at 12 noon kickoff. You can catch all the action live at WTUD, TUDragonradio.com, as well as at Coast Country 100.9 WMJK, Tiffin University's home on the North Coast. And right now, when you look at the way things played out in the conference last week, we got to talk about it a little bit. Grand Valley going on the road and losing, and a couple other teams doing some good things. Like Wayne State had a really nice win. They'll take on the team that Grand Valley lost to last week. So were you surprised at the way the conference shaped up in the first week?
Yeah, it really was. Grand Valley, coming into being second in the country and them going to Indianapolis.
14th now.
It just goes to show you in college football anything can happen, and that's why you play the game. But, the GLIAC has got a lot of great football teams in it. We talk about this a lot. We're going to have a very difficult schedule every week, but, everybody does that plays in this conference. So the only thing I'm really focused on right now and got the team focused on is Lake Erie. So
that's cool. This Saturday is only a couple days away, and let's go ahead and invite up here. We'll bring a coach up here and then a student athlete to follow. But let's go ahead and bring up Coach Joe Horn. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Coach Horn before he comes up here? Talk about what brought you. There you go. Give Coach Horn a big round of applause. Thank you, everybody. But talk about Coach Horn and what it was about him that made you want to bring him on your staff.
Well, Coach Horn, he was new to the staff a year ago, so this is going into his second season with us, and Coach Horn played in this conference. He's from the area, very knowledgeable coach, had a great playing career himself, and he's brought another element to the staff. He's our DFO as well, so he's got a lot on his plate, but does an excellent job coaching the receivers, and then kind of all the stuff behind the scenes. He handles some of the travel and some of the logistics, and it's just a pleasure to be around. We're excited we have him.
Coach Horn, thanks for joining us here on the program. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, Coach Horn has Coach Goff said he takes care of the wide receivers for the Tiffin University offense. And Coach Horn, you got a very talented group of young men over there. Talk about your group as a whole. You got a lot of kids over there with a lot of talent.
Yeah, I'm really blessed. We got 7 seniors playing the position right now. We got 12 guys actually who've started a game for us at some point over their careers. So we got a lot of experience, a lot of leadership. And it really just creates great competition every single day. No one's able to take a day off because you got guys breathing down your neck trying to take your job that are capable.
We're trying to work out our new sound setup here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Matt Kibler over there taking care of it, so we apologize if there's any issues. But let's talk about your group. How'd you grade them out after game one?
Well, anytime you have your first game, there's always some rust out there, and I thought the great thing we did was we started off really strong in the blocking game. We really got physical after Finley's corners in their secondary, and I was really proud of how we blocked all game long. That was something we really wanted to come out and focus on, and I thought we made big strides in that game from last year.
So you're telling me you're proud of wide receivers who, when Coach Goff recruited them, probably never said the word block once in the recruiting process, but now you're going to talk about them blocking on the field. That's going to be great.
Well, the great thing is it sets the tone for the game for our guys, and it gives you a little sense of pride out there that we're able to then take that and dominate into the passing game, and I thought it carried over.
Well, we noticed in the broadcast a couple real nice blocks by some of your guys on the outside, and then we saw a couple plays where some quick passes to the outside and the running backs coming out and making some nice blocks. So you're absolutely right. The blocking, we thought, from our perspective, seemed pretty nice out there.
Well, we've been preaching a lot about being, helping your teammates,
right.
Not being selfish. You got to block downfield for those running backs. Those running backs block for those receivers, many, many, many times. So, and if you look at it, every great run, there is a great block downfield somewhere.
Yep. You can't do it all by yourself. That's for certain. So, all right, how many kids did you have catches in the game one?
I think we had 6 guys that have catches, and obviously the backs had some catches as well.
Is that about the number you were looking at going into the game, kind of how you want to spread it around?
We last year we weren't rotating as much this year because we have so much experience back and so many guys have played games for us. We're rotating some guys at times out there, and we're trying to get everybody in, and if someone gets a hot hand, we'll leave them in there. But, I thought they did a great job, still cheering each other on and supporting each other, and not a single time was anybody worried about their stats out there. We're just out there trying to get the win.
Let's kind of break them down into like the upperclassmen and the young guys. Let's talk a little bit about the upperclassmen, the work they put in, and also to piggyback that, the work that work has helped the younger guys in their progression.
Well, they've done a great job of showing the younger guys how to be a dragon, how to be a receiver, and the kind of excellence that we're looking in our route running and the detail we expect in all of our routes. And they've done a great job, not just being an extension of me and Coach Goff on the field, of getting those expectations out for every single play.
And how about the younger guys? Have they been able to feed off of the older guys, what they're able to teach them from their experience? I'm sure they're bringing an excitement level and a different talent scope, I guess, to what the older guys have.
Well, we've been really excited about this young group, and they've been doing a great job just eating up everything the older guys had to say. And when you got consistency from the coaches and the players of the same message over and over and over, it's really good for those. It's really easy for those guys to understand and to latch on to it and put it into practice.
One nice thing too is we're too deep at every position, so we're keeping their legs fresh. For in the fourth quarter, We really feel like, at every position, either one of those guys can make a good play for us. But we're also, pretty fortunate that we got about 4 or 5 other receivers that we're able to redshirt right now this season.
Yeah.
So, we're pretty deep right there at the receiver position. I think we will be for years to come.
Well, you definitely. I think it's maybe one of the deepest groups, not only in our region, but in the country. I mean, I can't imagine too many teams have a stable of athletes that you guys have out there at the wide receiver position. And you guys see the hard work they put in every day, and it shows up in the numbers that they put out there on the football field. Now, you have some guys coming back this year, some guys who are highly touted. How have they accepted that role coming in as maybe upperclassman senior this year? Not only be able to look at themselves as what I can do for myself, but taking on that leadership role of the team, being a full team player.
Well, I mean, this team as a group is so close-knit right now, and every one of them is truly playing for each other. So it makes it really easy to accept the responsibility and the role that we have for them. And like I said, we haven't had a single guy that is worried about their stats or their catches. We're just out there trying to get the win as a group. And like I said, it shows when we're cheering for each other on the sideline and our effort, not only playing the receiver, but also in special teams as well.
What's one of the things that maybe somebody that's like me, that's not a football coach or not a football player, one of the things that watch the TV and watch the game or listen to it on the radio, and you see a receiver making catches, and then trying to get to the end zone. What's something that these guys got to work on in the practice setting that maybe guys like me don't realize the kind of hard work they put into it? Is it the blocking aspect? Is there another aspect of it?
Well, we've like I said, we have a lot of guys with experience and that know the plays and know what we expect of them. Now we're just trying to really fine tune the details, making sure we're getting that if we're a yard away from their depth, make sure we're supposed to be right where we need to be at. Make sure that we're not wasting steps off the line. Make sure we're not wasting steps out of our cuts, and just a little, which is great. And now that can take our game to the next level once we, finalize those details and get to where we want to be.
It's got to be fun to coach wide receivers in an offense like the air raid that this guy here likes to run. As he says, we run the ball on the field and off the field. Can't say that anymore, though, because you got a nice stable running backs back there, too.
Yeah, we don't say that anymore. That was in the dark ages how we used to recruit.
I still like that, though. I love it.
Yeah.
I still remember the first time on the show when you said that. I told the kids, we got 2 running plays.
No, we got a lot more now because we're very talented in the backfield as well. But, no, the receiver corps is a lot of fun. The receiver position's, close to my heart because I coached it for so many years and play that position myself. So, sometimes it's hard for me to back away and let Coach Horn do his job. And I know he's sitting there looking at me going, Coach, please, I got it.
Yeah, right. You have something else to do, Coach. Let me take care of this. Now, we talked about the blocking, and we're talking about it quite a bit here that your receiving corps does, because it's easy to talk about the catching the football and those numbers. But do they take on that blocking role a little bit more when they see the stable running backs that you have and realize those kids back there really can get it done? I'm going to go out there and do my part to make sure it can happen.
Well, it's definitely one of the most visible blocks is us out there on the perimeter. I mean, the guys down in the trenches, they're blocking every single play, but we're out there on the edge and sometimes a little more flashier, and it really gets the energy on the sidelines. And we've stretched these guys the way because their talent is very even across the board. We've got 8 guys, 9 guys, 10 guys who all could be playing for us at any play. What's separating them is who's blocking the hardest, who's being the most physical out there, and that's that playing time is a great motivator for our guys.
Competition makes everybody better.
Absolutely.
So when you got a guy behind you that can play just as well as you can or play more, it kind of motivates you a little bit.
Well, Coach Horn, you're talking about the blocking in the trenches. When you're watching film and you're a wide receiver out there blocking, you're on an island. It's almost like the spotlight's on you, so you better get it done, because if you fail at that, it's going to show up a whole lot more than, say, if a guard missed a block.
One, it's becoming easier for us to say, put the next guy in. Let's go.
Right. Any surprises from this group that since you got here to Tiffin University, maybe something greater than the expectations you had when you first got to campus?
Well, I just think, overall, the passion that these guys have, and the way Coach Goff has turned this program around, and that like I said earlier, we are really truly a close-knit group of guys that really care about each other, really care about this university, and really care about this football program. And I think that passion for one another and passion for the game is what's helped us get to where we have been, and is going to continue to get us to where we want to be.
How much you miss playing?
It's a long conversation.
He misses a lot. You'll see him out there with his cleats still running routes every once in a while. I'm just watching him going, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, that's why Matt and I sometimes throw the football around on the field before the game, but then you'll see us at halftime rubbing our elbows because we just can't do it anymore. But, Coach, should we invite one of your student athletes up here with us to join us in the program as well?
Yeah, definitely. Love to have Charles come on up here.
Charles Holland's going to join us on the program, ladies and gentlemen, wide receiver, senior for the Tiffin University Dragon football team. And Coach, you can stay here too, Coach. You can stay. Oh, you're going to switch out to the outside. I got you. All right, Coach, I want you to introduce this young man, Charles Holland. Most Dragon football fans know a lot about this guy, but maybe you can give a more unique introduction to him.
Well, I'm not going to call him your Mega Dragon, but
We'll save that for the broadcast.
no, Charles is a senior receiver for us. Comes to us out of Columbus. Seems like just yesterday we recruited him and got him here, and he was just a freshman, and we were kind of walking him through his first college start himself, and we both still remember when it was both of his first 2 touchdowns as a freshman, and he's had a great career, and he works extremely hard. He shows up with a great attitude every day and kind of gets the guys around him to pick it up and have a lot of fun, and he's done a good job of stepping in and being that leader for us on the field this season. So we still got 10 more games ahead of us, and we're excited to see what this young man can do.
At least. Charles, welcome to the program. How you doing tonight, bud?
How you doing? Doing good.
I'm doing great. Welcome in. And one of the things Coach just said there about his introduction to you is that you're one of the guys that does a good job of making the other kids better. You think you do that through effort? Is that the role that you really accepted and embraced this year?
This season, I've been trying to do more leading by example. I might say it and demand it from like the other guys around me, but at the same time, I got to hold myself to that standard too and bring the juice. But I just try to bring the energy and the effort, and if I see somebody kind of like not having it or moping around a little bit, I try to just get everybody going. But at the same time, I try to get myself going too. So I kind of got to do a good job of balancing it and getting better at being a leader. So I'm getting better every day.
Coach Horn, do you see Charles in practice as close as anybody? Is he taking on that leadership role in your eyes as well?
Yeah, I think definitely. Last year when we lost some of our leaders, Charles has always kind of been the younger guy of the group. We had Santoro and Shed and Pedro before them. Were great leaders of the receiver group, and we lost them. Last year to injury and for graduation, and Charles had to fill that role for us, and it was new to him, and he started to embrace it. And in the spring, he really could see it shine, and he's really kind of transitioned that on over to this season, and now to have them and the other leaders back as well, it's a great group.
Is it the longest 5 days or whatever, Monday through Friday every week? Or was you waiting for that Saturday to get here after going through film?
It kind of is,
Sunday?
but if you look at it like that, then you might waste a day. So I just try to come out there and just do it every day and continue to do it every day.
How much has being a Dragon meant to you since you got here on campus at Tiffin University? How much is just being a part of a program that's grown leaps and bounds from when you got here? How much does that fill up your pride?
It's definitely my family. Like I can say, I came here to Tiffin and found brothers and found older guys like coaches to help me steer my life in the right direction and get it on the right path. But just seeing how far we came from my freshman year, and of course the seniors can say how far they came from their years when they came in being a freshman. It's definitely changed a lot. And for us being a part of that culture change, that feels good to me. It feels good that we were a part of the change and we're getting to see it grow.
Talk about your group. Talk about some of the other wide receivers. You got a very talented group out there. A lot of guys who can make a lot of plays. Talk about your group.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited about all my guys, honestly. Tony Shedd, Tyler Denton, Davon Johnson, Victor Talley, Dontrell Brown. You can go on. The list goes on and on.
It's a long list.
It's a lot of confidence. I have a lot of confidence in those guys. I believe that any given play, if the ball's thrown up to them, that they can make the play without a doubt. So it's just fun having everybody here at the right time at the same moment and just trying to work with all that talent and just getting better and pinpointing on somebody's route here and asking them how I can get better here. And it's just a lot of talent, and it just makes it fun. Is
it good to see those young men working together and leaders like Charles taking that on and working with the younger guys and making a cohesive unit?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why us coaches do this. We're hopefully having a positive impact on some young men's lives, and they do with us as well sometimes. There's some things these young men have brought to all of us coaches that have made us a better person or realize something ourselves. But going back to the receiver group, we kind of really had a good experience this camp. We had Nate Washington come back for about 3 days with us receivers. He sat in the meetings with us, took the field with Coach Horn, and worked with the receivers every day. And it was really neat to see us make that connection with Nate, and more importantly, him make that connection with our receiving group and our team, because I think he got a lot more out of it than maybe he anticipated. And we all got a lot out of it. There's a gentleman right there that's been 11 years in the NFL, and he knows what's going on in the game of football. You don't last that long in the NFL if you don't. But so we had a really good experience with that, and I think that kind of just solidified even more of what we're trying to get done here as a receiver group and as a team, and doing things the right way. And I think Charles and all the other receivers, Santoro, and all would say the same thing. It was a really cool experience.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that, Charles, about your experience? You got an alumni Super Bowl champion coming back to the school you're playing at here and talking to you about what you need to do things right. How much did that experience mean to you?
It was fun. It was I like someone that like stays on me, like Coach Horn. Like I'll ask him if I'm doing this right or doing this right on the route, and he'll correct me in the right way. I just like someone to be on me, and that's what Nate did when he first got there. He came there. He didn't really come up to me at the beginning, but he just let it come, and then when he did talk to me, it was like with force, and it was like, I need you to do this and I need you to do that. But I was like a sponge basically the whole week, just soaking up everything that he was saying, and he really told me different things that I added on to my game, and still trying to add on to my game as I speak now. Just trying to get better.
And now these two coaches are sitting there saying, why are you soaking up? I was teaching you as well. Why are you being a sponge when I'm talking to you, Charles? Come on now.
No, I'm laughing because, 4 years ago when he's a freshman, he kind of made that comment. I need somebody to stay on me, Coach, and I kind of laughed. Charles knows Charles because I have had to stay on him with, everything for 4 years. But he wants it. He comes in and sees Coach Horn. Hey, how can I do this better? He talks to me. What do I need to do here better? So he's right. He wants us to push him to the limit, and that's made him the player he is today.
Besides football field, Charles, how much has being a part of a program like Tiffin University football and working with these coaches made you better as a man?
Hey man, it's they're all like my fathers, my other fathers. I can say that. I can honestly say that and mean it. Because it's been times that's been rough for me, it's been times that's been up for me, it's been times that's been in the middle, but no matter what, they always stayed the same, and they always told me right, they never told me wrong. But it's just, I thank them for that, and it's they're part of the family now. So it's just been a good ride, and I want to just keep it going.
This Saturday, 12 noon, you're on the road at Lake Erie. Why don't you give us a brief preview of their defense without giving away too much of the secrets you know of theirs. Just give us a brief preview of the Lake Erie defense.
I would say they don't run many coverages, so it's not going to be as difficult to kind of pick out the coverages, but it's going to be a game like always. You always got to play, so I'm just ready to get out there and showcase what we do in practice and do it on the field.
As soon as I asked that question, I saw 4 eyes just darted right at you. Both coaches staring you down and wanted to know, what's he going to say? And I'm sorry, guys, I didn't mean to lead you into something we weren't supposed to be talking about. But Charles, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure getting a chance to not only watch you on the football field, but sit down. We've done a few interviews on the air here before, and you're always one of the guys that goes out your way to say hello to us when we're out there on campus and out and about. So it's been a pleasure just getting to know you, not only on the football field, but as a student here at Tiffin University. So it's been pretty awesome. I do appreciate it. And what's the plan after school year's done? You'll try to continue as a career?
Just go with it, yeah. Whatever is lined up for me, I just want to go with it. It's looking good.
What are you studying? What are you studying right now?
Communications, television and broadcasting. I want to get into that after football. My football career will be over eventually. I wanted to get into.
They'll be coming.
Charles in the spring, he might have to help you also.
I was going to say, Charles will be sitting here. I'm going to be the guy carrying the bags around. Ain't going to be no more fun for me, I'll tell you what. But Charles, thank you so much for your time, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And great job this year. Keep up the hard work. You've had a great career, and it's not over. You got a whole lot of football left to play. So that's Charles Holland, wide receiver for the Tiffin University Dragon football team. So, Coach, let's talk a little bit more here about Lake Erie before we wrap up the program. Going up there, they're 0-1. You're 0-1, and something's got to give come Saturday. I'm sure that when you look back at your film and the film that they from their game, I bet you're thinking ball control is going to be a pretty big key to this football game, hanging on to it, not turning it over.
Well, they do a good job rushing the ball as well. Their offense has always been, extremely powerful and put up some really good numbers. So, they got the same offensive coordinator. They do have a new defensive coordinator that obviously is doing some things a little bit different on the defensive side of the ball. But, it's going to be a great test for our program. It really is. And, we expect Lake Erie to, come out and be full of a lot of excitement and energy. It's their first home game. They're coming off a game. They feel like if they would have, not turned the ball over a few times, that maybe it would have been a different outcome, a lot like we are.
Right.
So it'll be a good match for us. And we got to go out there and be prepared to play for 4 quarters and, see where the cards may fall.
Like everything else, it's not about what they do. It's about what Tiffin University does. You go out and do your job and you do your things well and do it as your coach. You should come out with a victory, but you still got out there and play all 4 quarters this Saturday at 12 noon as the Dragons on the road at Lake Erie College again. And you can catch the action at tudragonradio.com. That's WTUD. or on our home on the North Coast, Coast Country 100.9 WMJK. And Coach Horn, any final words before we let you go get back to your dinner and get prepared for Saturday's kickoff up at Lake Erie?
No, we're just fired up to get back on the field on Saturday and get another chance.
You're just like players and coaches are the same, aren't you? But once you're done, Saturday's over. Take a look back on Sunday. Start game planning. It's just a chomping at the bit to get back on the field.
Well, it's been a long week. We all, players and coaches, wish we could line up and play the game Tuesday.
Right,
I
bet.
Yeah, coaches are no different. We're competitors just like the players are right now, and we're chomping at the bit to get out there and show what we can do.
I can't wait for it as well. We'll be there on Saturday. If you can't make it, as he said, 100.9 on the FM dial and on your internet, tudragonradio.com is your home for Tiffin University football. Coach, thank you so much. Charles, Coach Horn, thank you guys so much. Have yourself a great day. And as always, let's go Dragons. It's a great day to be a Dragon.